Blah. Hi everyone, Gothany Nuts Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Vince Staples EP, Prima Donna. He's a prima donna, he's got a big head, like a big old melon head, just like the melon over here. Vince Staples is a California rapper fresh off of his successful full-length commercial debut record, Summertime '06, an album that was very well received when it dropped, although it did underwhelm me a little bit. While I thought Staples brought quite a bit of talent on the mic, and legendary producer No ID's fingerprints were all over this thing, there was something kind of unsatisfying about all of these kind of short, weakly structured tracks, all stacked on top of one another, none of them really reinforcing each other or leaving that strong of an impression. And I'm not really noticing a great change of pace or tone on this new EP over here, but it doesn't suffer from some of the issues that Summertime '06 did because it's just an EP, it's short, it's 7 tracks, doesn't overstay its welcome. The songs don't really get an opportunity to be buried in the midst of all of these other tracks that are equally unimpressive. Still, I will say this EP is a little bit of a mixed bag. For one, there are all of these strange vocal interludes at the very start of the EP, at the end of every track, where Vince Staples is just kind of moaning his way through a bunch of repetitive lyrics. Sometimes I feel like giving up. 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 And with the songs Big Time and War Ready, I don't think the EP starts or ends all that strong, mostly because the instrumentals on these tracks don't really hit as hard as I would have liked them to. The instrumentals on these tracks just sound really minuscule, don't really feature some of the heavy bass and the vibrant sounds that are on the other cuts here. Though I will say, much like on Summertime '06, Vince does seem to have an ear for very creative and kind of quirky production. I like the instrumental on the very blissful and guitar-heavy Smile. There are some crunchy chords on this thing and a really wild solo that paints the chorus. Of course, there's booming bass on this thing and some sharp kick drums. And Staples' very staccato flow sounds great over the beat as he tells this story about how he's kind of using fame to leave behind his old life and turn his back on old friends. The song Loco with Kilo Kish is definitely one of the craziest songs in the track listing here, lives up to its title, and actually features a Kish verse that didn't utterly bore me, though she doesn't exactly vary away from her usual monotone delivery. I would just say her vocals work really well into the eerie instrumental. Vince Staples goes in the opposite direction with a relentless, very expressive flow that features some of the raunchiest lyrics on the entire project. And the title track with A$AP Rocky is one of the most nightmarish bangers of 2016. Vince Staples comes through with this stone-cold flow, and there are some awesome, really chilling male vocal harmonies on the chorus singing, "Is it real? Is it real?" And the choppy yelling samples in the instrumental are pretty crazy too. The song is sparse, but it's also kind of loud, and it's also unsettling, and it's incredibly dark. And I love the way the beat just lights up with this just wailing, like siren synth when some of A$AP Rocky's vocals pop in. But A$AP Rocky starts repeating some refrains, the beat seems like it's building up, there's a beat change here, and we're getting some more momentum to the track, and then it just finishes. Where's the verse? Wasn't A$AP Rocky gonna do a verse? I mean, you did this beat change up, why don't you do something with it? Clearly there could have been more to this track than this. I mean, you literally teased to a second half of the track or some kind of significant change in the track, but once that change came, it's like, hey, let's just create this bridge to nowhere. Maybe you guys don't feel the same way, but I can't get away from this feeling that occasionally it's just like Vince Staples doesn't want to finish a song. The song Pimp Hand is a nasty track that I think requires a steady head bob and a mean mug to fully enjoy it. Instrumentally and even flow-wise, the track reminds me of something that Clips would have done back in the day, of course with the Neptunes on production. but that's really all it is. You know, it's not like this big concept or anything like that. And I've known Vince Staples to be able to put together a solid EP before. It's just that he's had trouble, in my opinion, building this up into a solid full-length album that is entertaining and memorable from beginning to end. And I think that's only going to come as a result of cutting the fat when you have a weaker track, and when you have a golden opportunity like on Prima Donna, actually build the track out and have your feature actually do something significant on the song, as opposed to just saying a couple refrains and disappearing. Just crossing my fingers and hoping Vince Staples can go the distance a little more in the future. But for right now, I think this EP's fine. I think it's a good EP. I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7 on this thing. Tran, have you given this EP a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit that like if you like. Please subscribe. And please don't cry if you hate my thoughts on this EP. All right, that's it, guys. See you in the next review of Forever.